Hi, welcome to Illuminated Tarot. My name is Jenna. Today I'm here to do a reading for you all for the week of November 17th to the 23rd. We are in the final stretches of Scorpio season this week. There's quite a bit happening. A little bit of transition to later this week. You know, Scorpio energy is very deep, it's very intuitive, and it's about being emotionally honest with others, with yourselves. I do believe that also with this new moon coming in Scorpio, it's an emotional reset for us all. As we've done a lot of shadow clearing during Scorpio season, and we've had like those really honest soul level realizations with ourselves and others. I think as we're navigating this Mercury and retrograde energy, we're getting a little bit of relief out of all this Scorpio depth and this feeling like these deeper emotions, more emotionality, maybe even reminiscing, nostalgia, just in our feels, Scorpio is deeply inward. And this Mercury transition, I believe, is going to change the conversation, especially as we move from Mercury in Scorpio into Sag, and as the sun enters into Sag. Happy birthday to my final Scorpios in the final week. And then also happy birthday to you Sagittarius that are having a birthday this weekend. So we have this big switch from Scorpio energy into Sagittarius energy. So from water to fire. So we're going to feel this really big spark later in the week. But I think for the most of the week, primarily, we're going to be wrapping up all of this shadow clearing work, deep emotional understanding of ourselves on newer levels. But that spark of fire, look forward to that. It's coming later. And I think we're going to have more clarity, optimism. We're going to have more forward momentum later in the week. It's not going to dominate the week. It's more of this subtle ignition, right? After this deep internal reset that we've all gone through for the last 5 weeks. So if you're feeling a deeper pull to go inward, it's because it's this final last stretch of all of the Scorpio energy that we've all faced in our own inner alchemy and transformation. So I think that this is a week to get quiet, to get grounded, and to be more soul focused. And coming into this reading, I heard Mark Nebo say in a recent podcast that we change and grow via 2 mechanisms, either through willful shedding or through being broken open. And I know it, just think about that. Think about when you were forced, right, to change because something broke you open. Or think about when you're doing it more mindfully, more intentionally, and you just are shedding things naturally without any kind of inner resistance. So that is the week's astrological energies. Let's go into some of the quotes. I had an interesting opportunity to have a different format in this approach because I'm not on social media, which is where I usually provide the quotes through Instagram, through some of the more contemporary writers. I did find a little bit online through Mindfulness Daily website where they share poetry. So I'm going to read you a poem by Donna Ashworth, which I think you all enjoy. Made me smile. If every single person who has liked you in your lifetime were to light up on a map, it would create the most glitteringly beautiful network you could imagine. Think about it. Think about every person you've come into contact with in your lifetime. And what if it could be a light in each of those that lit up a map because of your interaction with them? Throw in the strangers you've been kind to, the people you've made laugh or inspired along the way, and that star-bright web of you would be an impressive sight to behold. You're so much more than you think you are. You have done so much more than you realize. You're trailing a bright pathway that you don't even know about. What a thing. What a thing indeed. And then this next one is by Wanson Dizon. I hope you realize this is about the new moon energy and this fresh start that we have. It's very potent. I believe it is also a grand water trine. The new moon is on the 20th in Scorpio. So we're going to have this opportunity to plant new seeds, to have a fresh start in some aspect of your life. It could be it doesn't mean it has to be this big thing. It could just be in the way you're approaching your rhythm, your day-to-day rhythm. And that's what I think is at the core of what's going on within the collective, where it's like we need to slow down. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about Thich Nhat Hanh's approach to the meaning of life around this. So let's now go back to Wanzan Dazan's quote. I hope you realize that every day is a fresh start for you, that every sunrise is a new chapter in your life waiting to be written. And that's that Sagittarian energy that's coming in later in the week. Now this one, I challenge you not to smile when I read this. Sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy. So I had a lovely talk with Thich Nhat Hanh, and I went a little bit deeper. I did a little research on some of his approaches. And that might be something that I add in here on the Weekly Collective, just because there's so many amazing teachers out there that we can learn from. And Thich Nhat Hanh was just an incredible, extraordinary being. I wish I'd had the chance to sit in a room with him, but I did not. And some of you have. And I'd love to hear the comments about that if you have, because he's been very present with me, and I think he's very present with the collective right now in helping us slow down. You know, I asked him on a walk yesterday, what is the meaning of life, Thich Nhat Hanh? And he said, very simply, the meaning of life is to be present. You know, because a lot of times in our minds, we're chasing the future or we're clinging to the past. And it creates a lot of suffering. And that the only way we find true peace is from returning to the moment, to being in the here and now, to our breath, to our steps, to our senses, and to our very own awareness. So he felt that when we're present, we touch the miracle of the ordinary. So you found, you know, Source, God, your whatever you believe you're a higher being to be, in your ideology, in your beliefs, in your beliefs in your faith. You can find source energy and spirit energy in a cup of tea, a sunrise, the sun on your face, a conversation with a friend, a warm shower. And he said that, you know, we miss out on life when we're rushing or we're worrying or we're numbing. And being present is really, it's the miracle of being present to the ordinary things that we often overlook, leading these really hectic, chaotic lives. And that it's important for us to not wait for peace. We practice peace in the small moments, through our breath, through our waking moments, through just stepping forward, through walking. He also felt like nothing exists alone, that we are a part of each other, that we're all interconnected, the earth, the cosmos, and that connection is sacred. So I felt deeply connected to him yesterday on my walk. I really felt his guidance around being more deeply present and slowing down, to understanding myself, to soften. He also taught compassion on a very deep level, that to love without discrimination and condition is really the deeper meaning beyond being present, because it's our shared journey. And I think that's the lesson we all learn the most, is love for others, love for ourselves, love for the earth. And that understanding, deep understanding, is how we transform out of suffering. And I think that when we soften to ourselves, we soften to others, and that compassion arises naturally. But ultimately, I do believe what he taught was that, I wrote this down because I looked up kind of like one simple sentence that could encapsulate his work. The meaning of life is to live it deeply, to touch the wonders of life in the here and now, and to bring love and understanding to ourselves and to others. So make that be your work this week. We went really deeply inward in the membership portal because the anchoring card this week is the Hermit. And this is when we need to cultivate these practices that help us be more present. So whatever you use to soften, to slow down, to listen to that inner voice a little bit more, this is the week. So as we wrap up Scorpio season, let's now go into what we may have forgotten. Oracle, and get into the, if I can, these are big. It's hard for me to shuffle these. Oh, I'm going to need my glasses for these. These are the ones I need. Thank you, Spirit, for presiding over this reading for the collective today. Sometimes I even feel like I rush through the readings. You know, it's so beautiful when we slow down, isn't it? When you really like enjoy your food. I mean, everything he did was mindful. Everything. Can you imagine? Beautiful teacher. All right. What's going on this week for the collective beyond these energies that I've been visiting? He came over me like a warm hug yesterday. Love him and his sweet soul. All right. The element of air. Interesting. Feather of truth. I think this is, because I was just talking about mindfulness. It's like we need to bring more mindfulness into our minds because air energy is everything going on up here. And when we slow down, we move here. So I think that we're making a transition mentally this week. Oh, and it's a change of perspective. I like this. Looking more deeply. There's 3 lenses here. Wow, I'm getting that. It's a lens of the inward lens, the outward lens, and then the super consciousness, right? The entirety of the whole. Interesting. And it's also your perspective, other people's perspective, and then the perspective combined. And I think a lot of us have been working with that energy. We also have numerology of 31 going into 4 and 56 going into 11. So we have 7-11. Wake up call. Get to work, light workers, or get to work. Let's keep deepening. And this being present, being fully alive in the present moment. Control room goals. I had a feeling that was going to come in. And sacred knowledge. All of this is on point. And again, body, mind, and spirit. Feels like this unifying principle, right? Of 3s. We have 6 and 3. 3, 6, 7, and 11. Whenever I see the card of sacred knowledge in this deck, it's the Akash. And I think that a lot of us are going to our own ancient knowledge and remembering more deeply and intrinsically through a lot of, reflection and contemplation, going deeper on the path. So this week, it's like we have control of our minds more than we realize, and that there is this almost like this learning, right, that we are going through. Our soul's education is deepening. And it's really about shifting perspectives. What's at the bottom of the deck? Ooh, initiation, 0-point energy and intention. And the alchemist. Perfect. All right. So we have the Scorpio energy, right, of the alchemist, transformation. We have the initiation going on with the new moon, setting our intentions. So what do you intend for the new year? What do you intend as we go heading straight forward into one of the most chaotic, busiest seasons of the year with what we call holiday season, which brings up a lot for everyone. Loved ones that we miss, the hustle and bustle of having to visit family, travel. I think this is an important time period where if we can really capture this energy of slowing down and being more present, we're going to bring this energy into a new profound way, new profound level into holiday season, more deeply attuned to us, to inward energy, more than ever before. Because we're all growing, we've been shedding, right? Whether we've been broken open or willfully shedding, we're in new vibrational energy. And so I feel like the spark of fire is coming in and we're being initiated to transform our perspectives, to slow down enough, to not go through life in such a rush, to truly be fully alive in the present moment, taking peaceful steps every step of the way and not waiting for peace, practicing peace now. All right, let's now go into the tarot. Where are we going to go? Feeling the light. No, I'm feeling Astro Matrix. Yes. No. Told me no. I haven't used this deck in a while. When Women Had Wings. They're saying that there's a very strong part of this energy of softening and finding more peace is to honor the divine feminine. She came through really strongly last week for me, and I did an actual reading around that energy. So if you've missed it, go back. It's in the my videos. But this is a very, very divine feminine centric deck. Let's see it. When Women Had Wings. Let's see. 7 of Cups. All right. This is emotional confusion. It could be feeling a little bit of I'm getting an overwhelmment. You might be overwhelmed by either a lot of things that you are responsible for, or it could be you're trying to make a decision and you're unclear. 7 of Cups. This is heavy water energy as well. This last bit of Scorpio season. And this is the choice to where are you going to place your emotional energy. This is a choice. All these cups are choices. The Fool. I love it. Moving beyond the confusion of maybe all the, scattered energy, and overwhelmed energy. We're at a new beginning. 0 point energy. I love this one. Look at that. She's beautiful. Fairy, the face are alive and present here in this reading. This is taking a lighter approach to life. Now we have Justice and the 3 of Swords. Yeah. It's no surprise, Scorpio energy has a lot to do with karma, right? And it's our soul assignments. That's how I look at karma. And I think a lot of us are in a brand new beginning where we've learned so much from that journey in this I'd say the recent months. So we're right on time with the need to look at how we carry our pain. Where do we need to go deeper beyond the pain and look at life from a new perspective? Justice is about bringing balance to your life. And the 3 of Swords is our collective shadow. It's because if we were truly in alignment with what Thich Nhat Hanh is teaching, it's interesting. He's kind of saying it's the suffering that we perpetuate in our minds too, with this feeling of being separate from one another. And that's what pain teaches us, that we're alone. No one understands us. I'm going to get hurt. And it's a lot of it's unconscious. I think the truth can be very painful sometimes. And it's oftentimes when we don't accept the truth that makes the life harder. So there could be this need to accept the truth about anything that is overwhelming you at this time, or needs to be shed, or a decision that needs to be made to come out of. Because 7 of Cups is an illusionary energy, but there's almost like this, let's start over. Let's bring a new perspective to the situation so we can bring things back into balance and not cause each other more pain. All right. I'm getting that this is around a situation in a lot of your lives, and it could be something deeply personal or something deeply professional. It's very much so a karmic clearing week. By addressing the pain that causes separation. Yeah. 9 of Wands, the wounded warrior. And this is, the 9, when we get to the 9, it's like, when we set out, right, with this fire energy, it's like, I'm ready to go. You're like guns a-blazing. And then once you hit to the 9, you're like, okay, I'm getting a little tired. I'm getting a little worn out. So if you've been I think this is a collective issue, that we are conditioned to rush through life, to get frustrated or impatient when we're reaching for something, to pacify or bypass being present. How often do we go through the day and we're actually in a state of resistance to even honoring the present moment because we're telling ourselves, well, I don't have time for that. I don't have time to slow down. I've got da-da-da-da-da. It's an approach to life mentally. And so Spirit is saying that this is exhausting when we approach life from this way. And that the great masters found the true path, which is staying in divine alignment with our own inward energy and cultivating a life that supports that is so important right now. And so this is the week where do not let anything exhaust you or drain you any further than it has. Get quiet, ground your energy, focus on the little mundane things and bring your presence to it. Big karmic clearing. Yeah. So we can put the past behind us because this is all this fire energy. But it comes by way of whenever there's pain and hurt, there's lessons. Again, being broken open or willfully shutting. We have a new beginning, you all, as a collective. And it's come by way of coming back into balance with ourselves, understanding our wounds, understanding our pain bodies, and letting go of the past. When we truly forgive and have compassion over everything that has happened, we set our sights on being in divine alignment. And this Two of Wands very much so, as she holds the world in the palm of her hand. She has protection here on the path. She's cloaked in a red cloak. This is protection, spiritual protection. We are being protected as we release the old identities, the old habits, the old behaviors, even the old people that we have had to leave behind this year. And at the core, it's the old way of operating. And this is a calm, gentle sea. I think that we're all learning how to emotionally regulate. And that is the path of real maturity. You rise out of scarcity when you reach a level of emotional regulation and you ground in your own inner truth. And you recognize that your resources are your time, energy, and attention. And when you claim those or reclaim those as yours, your own sovereign energy, you move through the world in a greater state of alignment and peace. Let's clarify this justice and Fool combo. As we're surrounded by a balance, there's a nice balance of air, in our air energy. We are trying to release the old and come back into balance and be patient. We have all this fire energy represented by the Fool and the Nine of Wands and the Two of Wands. Also, the air energy is with the Three of Swords, like how we view our pain, how we view betrayal. Scorpio is deeply, to be scorpionic is to be the phoenix, to rise above the pain, to alchemize it. So there's deep alchemy this week. And then we're going to set our sights on a new vision for the future. No longer holding on to this heavier layer. Shed, my dears, shed. Shed the old. It's time. Now, and then we have the energy of water, Seven of Cups. Being spread thin emotionally, being overwhelmed, not knowing which way to go. What's real, what's not real. I mean, we're living in a world of a lot of illusion. But it's not an illusion inside. If you truly go to source, to the light within. You find God, Goddess, in every moment. Let's clarify the Fool and the Justice. And we have the Fool again. Double Fool. Come on, y'all. It's time to start over. Clean slate. Fresh start in the way you approach your life. Deep, deep, deep energy of taking a leap of faith to releasing the old. It's freeing. You get lighter. You get lighter on the path the more you shed, my dears. The Moon. Yes. Transforming our subconscious patterns and beliefs and our programming. Stepping out of that matrix. Becoming lighthouses. I love it. You all are doing the work so beautifully. So beautifully. Yes. And the Ace of Cups is a renewal. It's a renewal of our waters. We've purified our waters, you all. This is deep, deep purification. Emotional purification. I love it. We're at a new reset point. Okay? Beautiful. Right on point. Let's get some cosmic energies now. And then I'm going to read from Journey to the Heart. What are the cosmic messages this week? Beautiful. Right on point. Y'all are doing it. Release. Shed what needs to be shed. Break your hearts open. Let love pour through you and let peace dwell within. As we have the Dove of Peace heading straight into the cup here with source energy holding it. It's there all the time to be fully alive in the present moment. Look around and find some signs the universe is speaking to you. So you're going to find a lot of deep messages as you become more contemplative this week and go deeper. Waking up to the wonder of being here. Find ways to lighten up, see? And not take everything so seriously. Yeah. It's, life can be serious sometimes. But there's a lot of fun and play, especially as we go into Sagittarius season later in the week. We need these periods of excavation, right? It clears out the old, fresh sediment, fresh soil, right? So we can plant new seeds and nice, fresh energy. Find ways to lighten up and not take everything so seriously. And the cosmic journeys that we're on. Last one. When you find something that excites you, go all in and enjoy the ride. Yeah, we are all in new beginning, new seated energy around what's going to excite you. What brings you fully alive beyond this moment with what you want to create. All right? I like this. All right, let's now go into Journey to the Heart for the reading for November 17th. Discover the power of loving yourself. Sometimes it's hard to trust life with all its sudden twists, turns and storms. When something unexpected or painful happens, when we become blocked or frustrated, when life takes a different course than we hoped it would, it's easy to stop trusting the flow of our lives. I didn't ask for this. It's not fair. I don't want this, we think. This road isn't leading anywhere, at least nowhere I want to go. Often when we feel life has turned on us, we respond by turning on ourselves. But turning on ourselves doesn't help. In fact, it can compound the situation. It can prevent us from hearing and acting on the very guidance that will lead us through, get us through, and take us to the next place. It can prevent us from hearing our heart. I'm going to take a pause, you all, because I am on the tail end of a really rough respiratory infection that my daughter is fighting as we speak. Affected her birthday, unfortunately, but that's what we got to do. We got to soften and flow, because sometimes, there are things that happen unexpectedly. Keep loving yourself and taking care of yourself no matter what, through the storms, the twists, the turns, and the blocks. Take a moment, breathe deep, restore yourself to that sacred place of self-love and self-responsibility. Feel all your feelings, then let them go. Love yourself until you can hear your heart and what it tells you to do. Love yourself until you find the courage to act on that guidance. Loving yourself is a powerful tool, a powerful force for change. It can reconnect you to creativity, to universal love, to the best possible flow of events within your life. It can and will reconnect you to life's magic. There's a trustworthy road through whatever life brings. Loving yourself will help you find it. And I think that's that's inherently when we give ourselves time to pause, soften, and ground. It is a beautiful sacred act through our divine feminine energy of loving ourselves. So that's a big part of this fresh new energy, is loving yourself in a deeper, with more compassion, allows you to love the journey, others, your experiences on a deeper level. Let's get a frequency for the week. Realization. Powerful realizations. We have 3-7 in this new seed energy of the new moon, and also the shift from Scorpio into Sag. The frequency of realization supports the internal process of becoming aware of your heart-centered truth, as well as the external process of becoming our highest expression in the world. And that's what we're trying to do. We are working on becoming our highest expression in the world through being fully alive, through loving without conditions, through finding peace through every step, and to recognizing that nothing in this world exists alone. Let's get an angel guide to round out the reading. Action-packed reading this morning. I hope you all have a beautiful week ahead. Do the work. Do the work. Wow. A lot of us is moving our solar plexus energy up and out through the soul flame. It's interesting, too, with the membership where I go deeper. Everything you need to know about that is in the description box. I also have a long webpage about it, but when we do the work, we actually move from the hermit year. I think this is, that's why they're saying this. This is wrapping up because I'm going so much deeper in the membership portal, but I'm feeling that energy kind of flow through as a tide right now. In the hermit energy, in this modern era, we move from the hermit shining a light into the darkness as an external, right, light to an internal one. Because the modern light seers, tarot, is represented by finding the light within us to lead the way. So this week, we're doing the work to actually switch our perspective by going inward. We amplify our light. And it becomes an easier... See, the more you amplify your light, the more your light leads you on the path. And it's your soul flame. It's your fire. Let's see this do the work. So I love this. It's like wrapping up this hermit, the year of the hermit, so beautifully, you all. Let's read this. If you are wondering whether to move forward or not, this card is a message from your angels to continue on. You might feel that your current situation requires more time and energy than you were able to give. And there's a good chance that you were feeling disheartened or even drained, which we did get the 9 of Wands and the 3 of Swords energy for the week. It's important to know that everything involved in this situation is pivotal to your growth, expansion, and spiritual connection. This card invites you to switch on the light you have within. It's time to be a star, to rise up, to get behind the wheel and drive the journey of your life. Yes, energy is going to be needed to hustle and push, but every single effort you make will pay off. Right now, you are sending out a signal, and that will create a wave that can lay the foundation for the rest of your life. Extended message. Being spiritual isn't always easy. It comes with a price, and often that price is time and effort. That is why angels call it light work, because we have to work our light. This isn't spiritual easy. This isn't spiritual vacation. This is spiritual work, and that does mean we have to work. Action, effort, surrender, and trust are needed for things to come together. But when this card appears, you have an important opportunity to figure out the balance between effort and effortlessness. And understand when both of these energies need to move through your being. If you want to abandon a project or walk away from a situation, this card is letting you know that you are needed more than ever. This isn't the time to run away. This is the time to turn up. When you show up ready and willing to do the work, you will move up too. Ooh, I love that. Light work. Ponder that this week. Go to Thich Nhat Hanh. What does it mean to be a light worker? All right? It's about the balance between effort and effortlessness, and how we move through those energies in equal measure. Wow. Do the work, you all. And I think this is playing homage that we are doing the work. What's at the bottom that we don't see by doing the work? We surrender. We surrender to the flow. Oh, goodness. It's so poetic, so deeply poetic. I hope you enjoyed this reading. This concludes our reading for the week. Namaste. Now for announcements. What a powerful month of November it has been. Like I said earlier, as I started to cough and I almost didn't think I'd make it through the reading, I have been on the tail end of a 2-week respiratory infection, and my daughter is in deep throes of it as we speak. And I am going to be, she's homesick from school. I will be putting out I'm calling them now, instead of the mid-monthly, the rest of the month. My goal is to bring 2 readings per sign, 2 of you all on the channel. And then I'm bringing a lot of readings behind the scenes in the membership portal. And I want to thank every one of you who are in the early initiation stages of the Illuminated Collective. It's been powerful. We've done light activation. We did an 11/11 message. We've done 2 weekly activations so far. And if you're looking for assistance, for guidance and mentorship on the path, this is the opportunity for you to have a spiritual mentor in your life and to have these exercises and work as we co-create a higher level of awareness